welcome to Engaged Citizens of Columbia County. I'm your host, Sherry Ryan, and today I am joined with Duane Neukom, who is a candidate for the Port Commissioner. And welcome, Duane.
Hi, thank you, Sherry, very much. It's good to see you. How are you?
Good, thank you so much. I'm very excited to talk to you. This is a really important position in our community. We know this, and so thank you so much for joining and wanting to share out a little bit about you. We know that we don't have a voters pamphlet. We don't have as much info out to the public about candidates during these special elections. So thank you so much for joining me and taking the time to do this. So.
You bet.
So we will get right to it. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, Duane.
Yeah, you bet. I was born and raised in Columbia City, believe it or not, the metropolis of all 400 people, probably one of the very, very small towns of Columbia County. And I lived there until I graduated from St. Helens High School in the mid 90s. After that, I went to Western Oregon University and got my Bachelor of Science degree. So that was pretty much the start to the younger years for Duane. In 2003, I was a staff sergeant in the United States Army Reserves, and I got deployed to Operation Iraqi Freedom, where we provided some of the initial assault right into Baghdad. So it was a very challenging time and a very
Yeah.
positive and good experience for me.
Hmm.
Other than that, I've owned and operated several different businesses in my life. I've also been the president and vice president of a regional environmental company in the Pacific Northwest. And currently, I live in Warren with my wife and 15-year-old son who attends Scappoose High School. And my oldest boy, him and his family actually live in Scappoose too. And I'm a grandpa of one right now and soon to be two. So that's pretty exciting.
Wonderful. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Congratulations. And thank you so much for your service in the
absolutely. Yeah.
military. Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about, what is your why? Why do you want to run and be a port commissioner?
Well, my whole life I've been involved in some type of community or community organization or giving back. And this just seems like the next logical step. I was in the military for quite a while. And then I had coached baseball and been an active member when my son was growing up. And currently I sit on the junior baseball organization board as a treasurer for Scappoose. And I just wanted to look at, hey, what are some other things or avenues that I can approach or take and at least give some input or collaborate with other stakeholders and people in the community. And with this opportunity with the port, it really is a very important position. There's a lot of commerce that the port does. There's a lot of decisions that are made. And I feel like I'm qualified and want to have some input there for the people.
Mhm. Wonderful. What does a port commissioner do from, your standpoint, what you've learned?
Well, I think that the cornerstone for any good commissioner, first and foremost, it's going to be listening. And
Mhm.
what are you listening to? You're going to listen to the constituents and definitely listen to the stakeholders. But I think it's important to work with and listen to the mayors also. I mean, they have a lot invested in this, especially in Scappoose. Um, and with the airport and the marina, the city of Scappoose has a lot to do with the port. So
Yeah.
working closely with the individuals, the community, and the mayors, providing some directive to the executive director, and of course we all know that setting of policies. That's what commissioners do. But um, maybe most importantly is help design and build these roadmaps for the port and work with the counties and the cities. Say where do we want to go and where do we want to take these things and what is it that we really want to do as a community as a whole, um, and bridging those gaps and being the conduit for jobs and community.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, that's exactly. What do you think, Duane, is what sets you apart from other candidates that are running? Why, if I was going to go voting, like, why should I vote for you? What makes you qualified?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I would have to say, first and foremost, it's my leadership background,
Hmm.
especially with the leadership in not just in the military, but
Hmm.
also the entrepreneurial spirit.
Hmm.
Understanding what it takes to start a business, run a business, and grow it, and sell it, and move on, and rinse and repeat. I've helped a couple businesses in the community as a startup. We've provided personal finance and personal financial capital for businesses and mentorship for some businesses, and they've graduated and they're flourishing in the community now. So that portion is really really important to me.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. And not to discount military leadership because, going into active, duty and doing all that is also, a very big, monumental thing to do and have under your belt. So,
Well, and it's kind of few and far between. I mean, there's a lot of leaders in the military, obviously.
yeah,
However, having those responsibilities in a combat situation is completely different. So,
yeah,
being able to adapt and think quickly and move forward with the stressful situations and still use,
yeah,
like a critical path methodology to achieve what the missions are and stay focused on where we're trying to head.
yeah, totally, totally. What are I ask all candidates this because I want to follow up after someone is elected and in their position and in their role, doing what they set out to do. What are your top three, priorities where you're like, what, these are my goals of what I would like to, bring into my first term, and these are the things that I would be following up with you, asking you, emailing you, being like, hey, Duane, when you were campaigning and when you were running, you wanted to, work on this. How's that going? So can you tell us like maybe your few, top few, priorities that you have?
Oh, you bet. Thank you. Like I said earlier, I think the most important thing is the collaboration. You know,
Okay.
um, in a position like the port commissioners, it needs to be collaborative, and we need to
Mm-hmm.
listen to and get feedback from the public. And
Yeah.
it's such a large county. I mean,
Yeah.
it seems like every time we talk about the port, we talk about North County and South County. Well, it is
Mm-hmm.
still one county, and we are representing all of the county. So reaching out and making sure I have a good grasp and understanding of what each county and excuse me, what each city and
Mm-hmm.
individuals in those cities need, and how it's
Yeah.
going to help support jobs,
Okay.
because that is really, that's really what we're looking at. um,
Yeah.
I ran into two friends, lifelong friends. They both grew up in Columbia County. They have a business, and it's a manufacturing company. They have between 15 and 20 employees. They couldn't find a location in Columbia County. All of that got outsourced in Portland. And it just
Wow.
drives me nuts. I'm looking, it's like, how did we miss this opportunity? Um, and what can we do to fix it? Working with individuals like that are at least going to help pave the roadmap for someone like me to go back to the county commissioners,
Mm-hmm.
and to the mayors and say, hey, what can we do or what can we set aside to help this? So, collaboration is going to be number one, and
Okay.
helping find that roadmap to the jobs. That's number two. Is that how are we going to get these companies and jobs back into the county? Um,
Mm-hmm.
I watched in 2016 and 2017 when I was working in North Portland, uh, several businesses packed up everything they had out of Portland and they headed right over to Vancouver, and they went
Mm-hmm.
right over to Longview. And my first thought is, why can't Columbia County capture some of those companies that are moving, trying to get out of Portland? And,
Yeah.
you know, here's a really important part to that too, is that it's important to stop the Portland Creek. That is very important to me. I've seen it before where some of these governmental agencies like Metro are trying to shove things down uh, outlying cities that they don't want to. And it's
Yeah.
really important that I think that the views of Portland, they stay in Portland. And here in Columbia County, we have our own views, and going to listen to the voters to help execute those.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, I mean, we're close to them, just a few miles away, right? To Portland. And so collaboration, and then just looking to see ways that, you can look at having like jobs here that are going elsewhere to other parts. So, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
exactly. Like the port, I think there's 10 10 with 2,400 acres. And um, depending on how all that is zoned is what how can it be used?
Yeah.
And just again, helping work with the other commissioners and the other cities to get those to make sure those properties are fully being used and accessed by businesses if we can find a good candidate for it. So
Yeah.
yeah. And then of
Okay.
course, the third thing is supporting the local businesses, the business that are already here. Let's also take a look at those and say, hey, what can we do? What's it going to take to get more people into the restaurants? Well, it's going to take more jobs than people working here at lunch. What's it
Mm-hmm.
going to take to get more people to use the city and to use the coffee shops in the city? It all comes down to let's try to get our jobs to stay here. Last week, I was talking to a plumber, and he said, I'm not from Columbia County, but I want to raise my kids here. I said, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from here. Tell me all about it. What do you love? He's like, I like the small town feeling. I like,
Yeah.
just being close to the water, the recreation, everything about
Yeah.
it. And I said, well, where are you
Yeah.
working? He said, Tiger. And he's a
Mm.
plumber that's driving all the way to Tiger. And he says, because that's where I have to go to get the good money. That's where the good paying jobs are. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's important to me to find out why are we missing that? Why are we missing that little niche and help, pave pave a path, a roadmap
Yeah.
for these businesses to come here instead.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. So when we've had lots of hot topics about the port and about the commissioner, position and such. And we know that, like you were talking about how there's, North Columbia County and South Columbia County and how, like South Columbia County is definitely kind of, Scappoose, right? The Scappoose, marina on the water and such. And then we have Clatskanie, which is North County, and just how one of the big topics there is next renewables.
Mhm.
And I'm asking our commissioners, what is it, the candidates for commissioner, what is it that, what do you think about that? What are your thoughts? And just that, people want to know that.
Yeah, you bet. I'm in support of Next Renewables. I think that the county, we're very, very fortunate to have that deep water port in Clascanai. And not a lot of people know about how valuable that can be for us.
Hmm.
And in my opinion, it's a win-win to have Next there. Um, it's creating a clean diesel. It's creating a renewable energy that we sorely need. Um, and you know, on top of that, we're looking at 2,000 to 3,000 jobs for construction. The last numbers I heard is they're going to spend 1.5 to 2 billion with a B dollars to build these plants. Um,
Hmm.
After that, they're projecting somewhere around 80 to 200 full-time good paying jobs. And
Hmm.
we need more and more of that. We need, more and more engineers and facility maintenance specialists and people that can oversee all this. And it's going to create a vibrant economy in Clascanai, especially. It's what a great town, but it seems like you're just driving through it to get to the coast.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
there's a lot of opportunity there. And of course, the tax revenue. Some of the estimates I've heard were about $15 million of tax revenue for the county once they're up and running. So um, I think that the benefits weigh out any risks that come along with it, and we'll see how they do.
Okay. Okay, and so have you, there was a public meetup and a public forum where some people brought up, different transportation, um, situations that could be happening on the river. And what do you think of that being expanded or that being brought in to our port?
Well, the rule of thumb generally in the environmental industry is that we the larger bulk you can get, the better it's going to be for everything because we're talking about carbon footprint and
Yeah,
traffic and so on
yeah.
and so forth. So yeah, I'm assuming the rivers can handle it. I don't think the increased traffic uh, for the port I don't think will be an issue at all. Most people I know, they love to see these big barges come up and down the river. It's almost a scenic thing for them. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I don't see a problem with any of the traffic on the water.
Yeah. And expanding that as a business or industry. Yeah. Okay. Well, do you have anything else that you want to share, Dwayne, with the community?
No, I just, thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Obviously I'm not a politician. My
Hmm.
background is in business, so I'm
Hmm.
excited to start on this venture and really just listen to the people around me and work with people around me to
Yeah.
ultimately, I think all of us have the same goal. Let's make a better place for us to live in a vibrant economy. Um,
Hmm.
I always, every now and then I joke on the weekends, I say my goal is not to leave Warren because I just don't want to leave because I just like it here so much. But the truth is you can even expand that farther. It's like, man, if it was up to me, I would never want to leave Columbia County. I would want to do everything I
Yeah.
could here. So
Yeah.
um, that I'm a homer. What can I say?
Well, it's a wonderful community, right? And
Yeah.
we love it. That's why we live here. That's why we raise our families here. And why we choose to mostly go to school here, move away for a bit and come back and raise our families. I
Yeah,
know that's
and
what I do.
we're getting closer to not having to move away for school, even with OMIC and PCC. I mean, I would,
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever
Yeah.
seen those facilities, but by all means, go
Yeah.
take a tour of them. They're
Oh yeah.
amazing, and I'm just really excited that that is right here in our backyard.
Yeah.
It's right there by the airport, and any
Hmm.
integration we can get with, the citizens of the county and those schools and the
Yeah.
port and the community is, I'm all for it.
Totally. I actually I have family that go there. There are programs there and so yeah, I agree. It's a really cool thing for our community. So Dwayne, I'll post your info of how people can reach you and I look forward to talking to you soon, hopefully.
And thank you again for giving us this platform because without having the
Yeah.
pamphlets, it's really important for you to do this. And I appreciate it, and I'm sure the other candidates really do too. So thank you.
Oh, well, you're welcome and thank you.
All right, bye now.
Okay, well, you take care. Bye, Dwayne.